Queldar, what's happening, buddy? How's it going, man? Stream manager. There we go. All set up. There we go. Make sure the music's good. I think it's fine. Sweet. Doing all right, man? Doing all right. Doing all right. Gonna work on the face. And yeah, just continue working on this face. That's what I'm gonna do, build it up. That's okay. It's just good having you, man. Awesome, going to the gym? Sweet. Yeah, it's the first thing I do in the morning. Wake up, immediately work out, get it out, because I want to get it over with. It's not necessarily that I'm motivated. Okay. All right, so the first thing, Queldar, what do? We look and we see what needs to change, because I have more of a fresh eye. Things will stand out to me that probably stood out to you guys more on stream. That's the thing, you guys I think probably see you know, more stuff than I do sometimes, just because I'm painting it and you're like, I hope he fixes this one thing, or several. Yeah, Queldar, but before anybody shows up, well, got a couple of people. Normally you go in the morning now, but go with friends on Wednesdays, yeah. And yeah, so I was saying, I think, what's up, Rob? Like, I want to see you painting like this, but like better, because I think you have the potential, and because, you know, I know a lot of people, they go and study when they're young, and meaning like young, meaning like, you know, in their 20s. But there were a lot of people actually at the academy. There were a couple actually when I was there. Oh, good. Sue's coming up. 1 second. Give me a second. Yeah, but who were like, you know, in their 40s, and Hey, come on in. We got Sue Lyons.
Oh, wow.
Here we go.
So,
This is a professional studio, Susan.
I
She's laughing, I don't know why.
You said you have models on Thursday night. How many people come and draw?
So I'm doing, do you know who Jonathan Dockery is?
Jonathan Doc.
Jonathan Dockery, yes. Jonathan Dockery he's actually an excellent artist, and he does more like the quick sketches, gestural and stuff with charcoal.
Where does he live?
Here, Winston. In fact, he had a place in the building, but he had some issues with like some marketing.
Maybe I had known, but
You might have, he was here for like very briefly, but he brings about 3 students. I have 2, one of whom always forgets to come, always forgets to show up, so.
So Thursday
5.
nights, you have models
Yeah.
regularly. And
Yes.
You have a model over here in the corner, which is nice. You really do have it nicely set up. Even though, I mean, your space is compact, but
That's what I was
very
saying.
artistic and very inviting.
See, over there, that's where you do the full figures, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
That's where you
check
have
this
all
out.
your models.
And
That's what he does.
we have, there's not a lot of people, I just started,
Yeah.
but one of the guys, Queldar,
Oh, so you're doing an actual live stream right now, which I have
Yeah.
completely just crashed.
no, it's good. He said Susan's amazing, is what he
Oh,
said.
that's sweet.
So this is it. And then we have, obviously, we have the, one
You
second, let me
should-
do this.
You
Let me
do.
this.
You really take the time to kind of do it correctly.
Well, because you know how that goes, Susan. It's like, if you set it up wrong,
Yeah.
you're working on that painting, and then the entire painting for the rest of the time, you're just like,
You have a designated spot. So, like for me, I'm having to move stuff around a lot.
definitely, let me get this camera working. This thing's been bugging out.
Oh, look how professional that is. So this
Right.
is Twitch.
This is Twitch, yeah. Give me a second here. I'm going to try to get this camera working again. For some reason, it's just kind of bugs out.
Well, I've kind of heard
Here
of
we go.
it, but I'm out of the loop about.
Let's do this. I have an
Oh,
idea.
I see myself. It's
You
so
do,
fun.
but that's
It's so
bugging out.
fun.
That's bugging out. So here's what we're going to do
Isn't
instead.
that funny how I'm like that ridiculous about it?
Here's
Like,
what we're
I
gonna
see
do.
myself.
I'm going to use this camera because I am very resourceful. And everybody there knows that I know what I'm doing all the
So how
time.
do people find you on Twitch? Do you have a special handle?
Yes, I just sent it to you. It's just my name, Louis Guidetti.
Okay. All right.
And
So
let
perfect.
me find, actually, I want you to stay here for a second because I know they want to see you, but. And she's a very good model, and y'all need to get her in. She's awesome. Yeah, where in the world? There it is. This is the lens, the camera lens. Let me put this on, and we're going to use this main camera right here, and I'll just switch it since that small
People
one's
wanna
bugged
know
out.
What camera is this?
This is a Canon M50. And you can see, and these are Sigma lenses, or lensi is plural.
Okay.
See? I know what I'm doing. We have, this one is,
You're inspiring
I totally
me
know
to
what it
become
is.
more techno savvy.
Scott should do that.
Well,
I ask him all
I
the
have
questions.
to like actually push him to do things, so he
Really?
won't do them unless. Well, yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
See?
great.
And I'm going to actually set this on autofocus. Give me a second. You're going to lose camera for a second. Get used to this. And manual, autofocus. There we go. There's autofocus. And
So did you learn all this watching YouTube videos, or how did you?
yes,
Okay.
and
Isn't that
asking.
the best? Yeah.
I did most of it from YouTube, and then but with Scott, I asked him a lot of questions as well. And then a lot of this is trial and error because.
So are you standing all the way back here, or are you holding your palette?
So when I'm working, here, let me get this up, and I'm gonna get rid of this. That's not working. 1 second, and I'm gonna get rid of that, and then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this. Wah. There we go. So what I'm doing, I'm standing back. Like I stand, I think about right here.
Okay, for about 6 feet away.
Yeah, and so I'll look at, which obviously you can't do like site size, you do comparative measurements, and I'll go up here and look, because every time,
So you have to step around your camera every time.
yeah,
Oh goodness. You
It's
seem
fun.
to rig things up really well. Possibly if you rigged up a arm, like a boom arm from the wall,
Yeah.
then you wouldn't have to, and you could just use a cane to move it, and you wouldn't have to like actually step around. Just saying, because that seems.
You think I haven't thought of that?
Well, because they're really.
That would make it
expensive.
much easier.
You can get those from B&H for like 150 or less,
Really?
especially small ones. Yeah.
That would make too much sense for the stream to do, I think.
Well, I mean, we learn as we go. So I
Really?
make a lot of mistakes, and then I'm just like, hey, people see it.
Well, you come in here saying that it inspires you to be more technologically savvy, but you just came up with an idea that I didn't even think of that would make it 1,000 times easier for me to work.
No, believe me.
Because I'm literally dancing around that little leg there. You see how I
Well,
tilted
I just
in?
want
So
people to see how much work you put into this, giving them
It's a bit,
information. Like,
yeah.
so you're seriously trying to teach people how to paint.
I am.
And all this stuff you've learned over 15, 20 years of painting. So you're putting a lot of effort into this.
It's the like academic approach, and then it's essentially my studio work, because I said to myself, and you know this better than anybody, because you and Scott are always like, you got to get out of here. Like, been in my studio, and you get weird, and you know this, but I said,
I'm a recluse.
yeah, and so I said, well, why not put a camera on the work? Because there are a lot of people, like when I was 18, 19, I didn't know where to go. I think now it's a little bit more obvious because like academies are well known, more well known than they were at the time, but
Well, and
you can like
sometimes
paint.
Some of these online classes are so expensive.
Oh yeah.
And they're just, I guess, getting people in the door, and then what happens is they might be there for a few months or half a year, and then they realize there's
Yes.
so much out there.
Yes.
And, so, anyways, but I also love this table. This is so cool. Where'd you get this?
Oh, this one?
Yeah,
Um,
I like it.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember where I got that.
On wheels, and it has multi-layers. I love it.
I don't remember where we
I
got
know,
that one.
sometimes we never-
I remember this one. These you can get. These are like I forgot the name of the tables, but you can actually buy these still. These
Oh,
are
yeah,
good.
Yeah. You can get these from like Uniline or all
Yeah,
kinds
exactly.
of stuff.
There you go. She knows.
Yeah. Cool.
But do you,
How long is your live stream usually?
the live stream normally? I mean, it varies. Normally, and guys, really quick, if y'all want to ask Sue Lyons questions, she knows better answers than I do. I bullshit y'all, and y'all know this at this point.
We're actually just in the basement, and our model is going to be a little bit late, so I thought I would come up and just crash his live stream,
Yes.
learn about Twitch.
She's
Awesome.
totally ruining the entire stream
I
here.
know.
So if it goes wrong,
That's a beautiful painting. So, okay, tell me how long you painted on that.
about 15 minutes.
No.
15 minutes.
Okay, no, you started before that.
I started 15 minutes ago, and that's no. It's been, I would say, about 3 or 4 sessions. It's been like probably close to 9 hours, I'm guessing.
I want people want to know that
Yeah.
you just don't do these in like an hour and a half.
No,
2
and
hours, like a lot of demos are.
and to be honest with you, it really depends. Like if you want to do an alla prima, just a straight up painting,
Right.
that's how you have to say it. Is
Yeah.
you can do those. I mean, it
Do
helps
you teach
with
people
like
how
in
to take
5 hours.
photographs of your models? Because that's a beautiful photo.
I did once on
Well,
stream.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because, when people see how gorgeous that photo is,
That's a good
they're,
photo.
They're just going to be like, whoa, they're going to salivate, right?
Yeah.
And so people need to know, like, how did they get really awesome photos like that? So
Yeah.
I think you should do a
Let's
live
go.
stream about having your model here and, like,
Yeah.
just filming yourself kind of
Doing that, yeah.
lighting, yeah, like how long you take too. That
Oh,
it's
definitely.
not like 10 minutes. You're taking multiple shots, and do you actually work on the photos in Photoshop?
Yes, I do. If they need to be like each individual one, like I try to get the lighting correct and
Sure.
get the.
But there's always some tweaking.
There's some tweaking. So if I take an individual, like I know there's a batch way of like, if say you shoot all the photos in light that's like too dark or
It's called
something.
an action.
It's an action. See,
Yeah. I mean, Scott's really good at actions. I don't, but he'll
I'll
set
ask
them
him
up
because
for
I
me
couldn't
in
figure it out.
Photoshop so that it's always there.
Right.
So if you're doing everything under this particular lighting, and it's
Yeah.
always this lighting, and you know that you need to do a certain amount of little
Right.
things in Photoshop, it's called an action. that you then put the photo in, you go to actions, click play, and it goes beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
And it just does the same thing over and over. You can do that for like a whole folder, like 100 photos, and you can just change all of them at once.
Right. Yeah, and so that's why I asked Scott stuff. In fact, right before we came up, and I have a question for you from Queldar, who's a real delinquent on this
my
stream.
God.
He's one of the worst people ever. But I was just picking Scott's brain about cameras because he's like an encyclopedia, and so we're gonna have that conversation. But I'm gonna ask him about the actions because I had that issue. But getting back to it, normally, like if I'm working on one photograph, I'll tweak that one, and for whatever project, I might adjust it a little bit, and then make sure, because I keep on making this mistake, that when I transfer it over to the iPad, that the lighting is not too bright, because one of the problems I've had, and it kind of came out in one of my portraits, is that, and I should have known better, it lost the sense of light because it became too washed out. And I like keeping things a little bit darker and then having little highlights that kind of glow.
Telling you that it changes once you move it to the iPad?
Yeah, because the screens, like
Okay.
the picture itself will stay the same, but the screens, depending on how they're calibrated, and iPad, you have a brightness setting on it,
Right.
and so like that, it's like it'll remain like the same, but just brighter, and you can't get as bright in paint.
We have multiple phones, multiple computers.
It's tricky.
And so an image will look different on
Right.
every computer. And Scott gets so angry because I'll always tell him when I'll see something on Instagram, I'll go, Scott, it's too dark.
Yeah.
Or Scott, it's too this. And he goes, oh,
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have to maybe look at it on my computer first.
Right.
Because your computer's tricking you.
Yeah.
Thinking it's too light. And so you're making everything darker. And he just gets angry, and then he kind of gets frustrated. He's like, well, it looks different on everybody's
Yeah.
phone. And I'm like, okay, but no,
Yeah.
so it happens to everybody.
It does, and it can be frustrating. So Queldar is asking, he says, Susan, do you think academic style painting is the best or only way of painting?
No.
She said yes.
I think that people, it's probably best to learn academic painting and then you branch off, because the idea is to learn the techniques and then figure out who you are different from your teachers, really.
Yes.
You want to learn how to paint from your teachers, and then as you get older, you have to change. You
Right.
have to just to
Make sure you're-
variety in art so that the world is interesting.
Yes, definitely. Okay, you're still there.
But no,
That
we all
is-
have to
that's a
learn
very
how
good
to
answer.
draw. And
Yeah.
if you don't, then you're always probably. I know a lot of
get
people are
this light.
handicapped.
Right.
When they always wish that they learned how to draw a little.
Oh yeah,
But,
definitely.
I know so many landscape artists who are like, I wish I'd done more portraits or figurative, and then they get scared as they get older.
Yes.
They're not. So-
Yes. Yes. That's a very good answer. Could y'all hear that? I'm not sure here. I'm going to take this out because I keep on forgetting. That's a very good answer, actually. I agree with that. Because I agree, like academic's good. Like you gotta learn the language, but you don't want to get stuck doing student work all the time. And not that academic is, but I think you
There's
nailed
an
that.
amazing amount of lighting that you put in the studio. Like you literally have lighting for every single corner in case you need to paint in
Right.
that corner.
Right.
I kind of regret. I don't have that downstairs. My dream is to have a studio. See, I guess in funny, I have that dream as an image, as a beginner,
Right.
or I guess fantasy. Like, oh, if I only had the bigger studio. But
Yes.
your studio's a little smaller than mine, but you have made
Yes.
it
Yeah.
so it's usable. You're not using just the basic fluorescents like I am. You have still life, you have model, and you have work over in that corner. You have this,
Yeah.
so you could be working on multiple. Like you could be working on 4 different paintings at once.
It's kind of like the studio evolves into what you need it for
Yeah.
specific paintings. I had a wedding feast of Cana painting, which you might remember. It took me 5 years, and I would just sit and stare at it. Like, it took a long time. That's extreme. I'm not recommending somebody spend that long. That was kind of dumb, but it made me like I was like, okay, I'm going to need something that enables me to do full figures for this. I can't
right.
get away with the model staying set up, because you know how it is. If you're, especially like I used to be in just this section of the studio
Oh my
here.
gosh! So you're literally, your studio used to be just, it's pretty
This-
much like 15
this area.
by,
Yeah.
and it's an odd shape. It's
Right.
not square.
Exactly. And so, but yeah, and
These would be your
let me-
right here.
Rob has a question for you. He says, Susan, because Rob's starting out in art, and he's starting to do some bar drawings and stuff just to get acclimated. And he says, Susan, how important is drawing skills for painting? Is it like 90%?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, especially if you want to do figurative work. You know, landscape work, you don't need to know drawing that much, but figurative work, it is the hardest art form that you are going to go in. It's the most taxing, it's the most difficult, and that's why, you know, landscapes are most popular. It's
Landscapes.
yeah, landscapes, and then still life, and figurative is at the pyramid. It's at the top of the pyramid to like be able to do it. So
Yeah.
I do think that just practicing, training yourself to see shapes, and you know, it's kind of like muscle memory. You kind of just have to do it over and over, like scales in the piano.
Yeah. So does that make sense, guys? Drawing is extremely important, is what she's saying, for art. It's like,
Do you ever tell me
Yeah.
about that book, John Vanderpool, Drawing the Human Figure?
no.
Oh my God, it's my favorite book
Yeah?
of all time.
John Vanderpool. I bet you
Oh.
Quilt Art probably knows this. John
Yeah.
Vanderpool.
It was published in 1909. He was a famous drawing teacher from the Art Institute of Chicago, and he taught a lot of famous illustrators.
Okay.
And no, it's my favorite book. And if you can get an older version, like a lot of people can go on Amazon or eBay and find used versions, because the older versions
I'm just
have
following
better
the
plates.
camera swivels to you,
Oh,
Susan.
okay.
We're
Oh.
trying to keep it.
Okay, I'm also trying
They
to
see
keep it
me too
interesting, so
much.
I'm not just standing in the same spot.
You're doing good.
So
Keep talking.
John Vanderpool, the drawing, it's the human figure, and it's small. You still get it, I think, from Dover Press, but just type that in, and if possible, get a used version, because it's the thing is that they've been making prints from newer plates, which means that sometimes as you print books, the reproductions aren't as good. So if
Gotcha.
you can get the older one, but it's my favorite drawing book of all time, and I recommend it to everybody. And I bet you if you saw it in person, you probably would go, oh, okay, I have seen that
Yeah.
before.
Definitely.
Well, anyways,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I want you to get back to drawing.
All right.
Hey, everybody. I'm so happy you found Lewis. Yay. Bye.
Guys, hey. Susan, thank you for
Secret
stopping by.
door, the blackened door that people do not know.
It is
the
very
magic
high
that's
tech.
behind.
Yeah, equipment right there.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. It's fun. All right. Hopefully y'all could hear that. I should have gotten on the music much quicker. Yeah. Well, good job. That was fun, huh? And every once in a while she'll stop up, and she obviously had, I think, her group on, which is way more than mine. And yeah, she's a really lovely person, and she's very knowledgeable. And you know, they've been doing this. Scott and Sue have been painting longer than I have, and so I can always go and pick their brain, right? And that's one of the great things about being here. You know, I say I work by myself, which I do. I work by myself, but every once in a while I get to talk to Scott and Sue, which is quite nice. You know, because Scott's like an encyclopedia, and Sue's very down to earth and very knowledgeable about all this stuff. Yeah, exactly. They're well known, and they're you know, like I said, they're always giving me like really good advice. A lot of the camera work and taking pictures, you know, with this thing I asked Scott about, and he gives this explanation, and I take probably 50% of the information, and the rest of it's over my head. So that is that. There we go. All right. I don't know what's wrong with here. You know what? I'm going to keep this here because I don't want to move this, but let me check something. Like, look, I don't know why that this is happening, but for some reason, where was the image that I was using? Is this it? That's not it. I think this is it. There it is. That's the image. Facecam is frozen. Problematic. Which, you know what? Maybe we don't use the Facecam today. Or start a new one. Sources plus video capture. Don't y'all love when I do the work during stream that I should have done before? Wait a second. I actually did do this work before and it was working. I thought I got it working and then it bugged out again. So I'm just going to try to fix this. You're going to have to do like 5 of these. Add source. It's ridiculous. Well, why is that not working? Let me delete this. So maybe one day do a video on taking pictures of oil paintings, how to avoid glare deforming due to perspectives. Do you want, when you say video, do you mean just like a regular video or do you want a stream with it? Because I can do that today if you want. Delete. Let's see if that does it. Session. Facecam, why? This doesn't make any sense. Yeah, let me know. Do you want to see me do the painting today or do you want to see me do the... Well, not today because I'm leaving soon. Okay, all right. Well, I tell you what, you let me know when you want to do it because I'm pretty... I just think it would be helpful for people who paint in oils, yeah. I'll do that. I did that once, but I'd like to do one that's a little bit easier to understand. So plus, let me try this one more time. You know what I could do? Wait a second. Tell you what, I'm going to take this off. Unplug this. I'm going to redo all this because I want to try to get that camera up. So it's kind of weird how this works sometimes. Sometimes the camera just bugs out and it's not. I know there's a. I see the box on the autofocus. I'm going to fix this. I know this isn't like high class right now. I'm aware of this, but I don't really care. Video capture device. Add source. New source. Facecam. Source. Elgato Facecam. There. Where are we at? Okay, wait a second. Why is this working when my camera app is down? Maybe the camera app was what was screwing it up. Never mind. It froze. What's the virtual camera? No, that's not it. Wait. Virtual camera? This is it? Maybe it was on the wrong one. That can't be. All right, well, this is working. We'll just leave this. It'll probably freeze, though. Okay, there we go. Let me fix this, and then we'll get to it. Guys, I am a genius. But we already know that. I want to put up a website with my work, but my photos suck. Okay? I'll help you. Liz, I'm trying to create artwork to be accepted by the Northeast Art Collective. I honestly don't know if my work can hold its own when on the same wall next to the other artists. My question is, should I know? I haven't seen their art, and I haven't seen enough of yours. But you I mean, if you get accepted in there, right, somebody's making that decision of whether or not, like, how does it work? I guess I don't quite understand, like, all the variables or whatever in it, right? I don't know the details. Let's put it that way. This is what I wanted. I don't know the details. Rob, listen, you and Quellar, both of you guys, drawing. That's it. Don't think that there's any difference. There is a difference, but don't think there's any difference between drawing and painting. It's all drawing. This painting, which y'all can't see yet, which you're about to see, it's all drawing, okay? All of it's drawing. That's what we're doing. I'm just drawing. Like, I'm correcting, I'm drawing, it's painting techniques, sure, but it's drawing. Remember what Sue said, like she was saying, oh, it's very important. If you can't draw, you can't paint. You know, you're not going to be able to paint the way that you want to paint. Not at all. And I want both of you guys to be high caliber, not just like hobbyists. If you want to be great artists, I really do want y'all to be a high caliber, which is why I don't hold back on these streams. I don't. And, you know, I give all this knowledge out there. And, you know, like Sue was saying, a lot of people pay courses for this stuff. I put this stuff out here for this very, very reason. Yeah, if they've invited you, then I wouldn't worry about it, man. I would just put your best work in. Yes, I have to submit pictures by email. The panel will judge if I am a good fit. Then if I pass that stage, I'll be invited in to meet the artist like an informal interview. Well, then they'll take care of that. Okay? And you'll learn, you'll like figure out through experience all this stuff that you're wondering about. You will. Okay, so don't worry about that. Here we go. I know in the beginning I forgot to take my mic and like, you know, put it up to her and stuff. I hope you could still hear her. I know the music was probably a little bit louder than was ideal. So hopefully, you know, if we have her back up, which she will, she'll come back up. I'll invite her back up and Scott. There was only one artist there that told me to submit work. Well, who cares? Well, did they look at your work? Here we go. Let's get some painting done. Let's get some painting done. You son of a bitch. Why is this freezing? If this freezes, I'm done with this. No camera today. Screw the camera. I have literally wasted so much time. Select. Such bullshit. Okay. It's more suiting anyway. Sorry, guys. No camera. Can't get it to work. You saw me. I tried. I tried my best. Said my swan isn't a good enough standard because I painted it with a short depth of field, and she thinks people won't get it. Maybe she's right, and maybe she's wrong, but there's one. Yeah. All right. I have wasted enough of my time with this. Let's get started. I agree with Quadar. He's right, Rob. Hey, Rob. You know what? Were you ever into basketball? Either way, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, so even if you weren't. Let me know if you are into basketball or were a Michael Jordan fan back in the day. Because he said something very interesting. Or Queldar too. Queldar, this is very beautiful music. But it's very quiet at the same time. Rob. Okay. So I was watching an interview. I think okay, so it was an interview they did of Michael Jordan. And this applies to you, Rob. And this is one way of going about it right now because, like, Michael Jordan is one of the greatest athletes of all time. And he was asked by Steve Curry, right? Steve Curry. Anyway, like, I think it was him. Anyway, he was asked about, like, were you ever afraid of your opponents, or were you, like he said, like nervous maybe, but like afraid, no. And because he wouldn't get afraid, he said because I would prepare, and so he would never doubt his skills, and he would always be there to take that shot. Like, he had the confidence, and that confidence though came not from just playing well in the games, but it came from the preparation he did beforehand. You see where I'm going with this? Drawing is your preparation. So like if you're an athlete and you're training, right? you have practice. Like, you win games, not on the court, like in games, right? You do, but the game is won before with the practice and the preparation. Okay? I spend so much time in the technical elements and aspects of this for my good and for also for yours, because if you want to be the best painter, you need to practice and do these exercises. And y'all might get tired of me speaking about Tagian, and by no means am I saying he's like, the end of everything, right? Gentian. But he's a kid who he puts himself on a regiment. His heart's into it, but he's doing the work, and he's doing the proper exercises and doing a lot of them. And that is a good example for me, for you, for all of us. If you want to be good, Rob, because I slowly learn about you guys through obviously what y'all say on the stream. And the more you talk, and I listen, and I try to, it's how I know what to do videos on and how to talk about it. Because I was disconnected when I came into this, because I had been living and breathing art in the professional manner, but I had lost touch of the student aspect of it, or the beginner aspect, which is the most important. And for where I'm going with this, because I want to help you guys. All right? So I cater these videos to what is going to help you the best. Both of you guys need to get like perfect at drawing. Perfect. You need to be able to do the bar drawings perfectly, fluidly. You need to do figure studies, right? Drawing the figurative art. That's going to help your landscapes. That's going to help your still lives, right? And you need to be tough on yourself about this stuff. Yeah, thank you, man. And I'm grateful for you guys being here. But I want you, don't think that to be a great painter at this stage that you need to be painting. That's a myth right now. To be a great painter, eventually, yes, you are going to have to paint. You need to build the foundations up. The foundation is not painting. The foundation is drawing. Drawing is the most important element that you can do for yourself. Like, you need to practice, you need to train your brain to see proportions so that it can see the shapes when you paint later on down the road. You need to have a proper understanding of everything. It needs to become second nature to you. So you need to learn these things first, but then make those teachings second nature. That way, once you transition to painting and then you get over the hump of learning becoming comfortable with the medium, you're going to become comfortable and you're always going to progress. But once you get past that, you'll be able to do paintings with confidence. Don't think that I'm good at drawing, but I'm not good at painting, or I'm good at painting, not good at drawing. Right? You can't, depending on what you do, for what you're trying to do, it wouldn't make sense to say, I'm good at painting but not drawing. You have to be able to draw. Yes. Queller, the key to your painting is your drawing. It's not painting better. It's drawing. That's exactly what I'm saying. And you know me, I repeat myself. I know. I'm aware of it. But it's the truth. Both of you guys. And hey, you know what? I'm taking my own advice as well. I am. I was talking to Susan just now about, I spoke to her. She was asking about how many people we have in the class. She was talking about a Thursday night class. It's a drawing class with Jonathan Dockery that I do. And so I am drawing. I'm not going in there and painting, doing quick sketches, thinking that I'm above drawing. Every time that I draw, I get better at painting. Every single time. Every time. Whenever I'm having a hard time in painting, it's because I haven't drawn enough. And that's the truth. That's my experience from it. Right? My experience is that I am always better at painting when I draw. definitely going to the barred plates and adjusting graphite until Lewis gives me the go-ahead to progress to charcoal. Do that. Definitely do that. I'll help you with that. Look, at the Florence Academy, they would not let us even touch a paintbrush they didn't for a year. For me, it was 2 years, all right? And don't feel bad about that, but if you really stop and think about it, all right? I mean, you know, Rob, you have a 12-year-old kid, so I don't think you're extremely old, right? Queldar's my age, and in 4 years, you could be doing solid paintings. It does not take that long if you practice right, if you have a direction. You could be extremely professional. You could be painting better than me within a couple of years. You could if you put yourself to it. All right. But you have to work and know the path. I'm trying to make available this type of teaching for my part. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it available so that you guys can do it. You know, and Queldar knows this, and you do too. And I am a little bit of a broken record when it comes to this, but it's the truth. And because I want to see y'all have success with your work, right? And I want you to be able to get there as quickly as you can too. Not saying to rush, but there's certain ways that are practical that are going to speed the process up. It's not going to waste your time, right? You know, there's a lot of things that you could do to get better, but I'm telling you the stuff from my experience that will get you there quicker, right? Your brain is far underdeveloped, if that's what you mean. You're 48. 48 is extremely young for being a painter. Just think, you can paint up until the day you die, assuming your mind stays good, right? But even so, like, you know, my dad started losing his mind when he was in his early 60s, mid 60s or so. So even if that happens, you still have 20 years at least, assuming you have a healthy mind. Past that, you probably have 40 years. Imagine what you could do in 40 years. I've been painting for about 17 years, about 17. And that doesn't mean that this is how you're going to, this is obviously just kind of not developed. But you can go a long ways, especially with the access, how available information is today, okay? Well, to be able to paint better than you, Lewis, in 4 years. Only problem is I don't know if I can get to your level that quick. That's a great goal. I'll help you the best that I can. The best, like I said, start doing bar drawings. Keep it simple. You don't need to be doing fancy stuff. You don't need to be doing multiple things at once. You don't need to be doing color wheels to prepare yourself, the color charts to prepare yourself for painting. With drawing, you don't need to go through and do the spheres, the cylinders and all that stuff, those types of drawings. You can if you want, but just keep it simple. Just focus on bar drawings and get that correct. Learn to slow yourself down and do the basic blocking, all right? That's what I would recommend. Keep it simple, because you will not perfect those exercises this month. It will take a lot of work to perfect those exercises, but if you can perfect them, that's a lot of learning. Doing a bar drawing is not basic, okay? It's not simple to do. There's a lot of elements in it that you have to master. It's just we start with that because it's with pencil and it's the most straightforward method. But, yes, Rob, do my bidding. And Queldar, you know this stuff. I know you know this. I'm a broken record. You've been with me, a long time now, and you know this stuff. I know it's not news to you, but you need to hear it because your work is good and your painting is not bad like you think. It's not where you want it to be, and I'm telling you why. right? I want to see you having little breakthroughs here and there. Look, the transitional work, everything here, the sense of light, the line work, the proportions. I had to widen this part before. It's all drawing for me. It's all drawing. I'm translating into paint. Paint is weird because to get darker, you don't press down harder like you do in pencil. You have to freaking, you have to mix the value and stuff, and that can be very difficult. And then you have to apply it correctly so that it doesn't smear. And then you have to reload your brush so the painting doesn't get muddy. It's a different technique, but how are you going to do that if you're struggling with the drawing? How? You can't. You're going to be incredibly discouraged, and you're not going to know if it's necessarily the drawing or your technique that's holding you back, right? I know my technique needs to improve, but what's holding me back right now is essentially the drawing. Now, sometimes the drawing and the technique go hand in hand, right? Transitions and stuff do make the shapes appear bigger or smaller and sometimes sync better. And so if it's like a very scratchy drawing where it's like the transitions are off, it's kind of setting the drawing off a little bit. Yeah, that can be an issue. Then in that case, and I've been in this position before, you just refine it a little bit, but that's experience. But the main thing is that you have to be able to recognize that first. You have to have a trained eye. You have to have a trained eye. Kveldar needs to learn subtlety in his work while tying in, the big shapes and everything. You know what I'm going to do with this? I keep on. I'm going to let the face dry, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint actually the body. And so I'm going to actually just tilt this camera down. You're going to lose picture just for a second. Paint the body. We're going to paint the body for now. Do this. And then I just think that both of you guys have so much potential. And I'm not the type of person who always buys into it's easier when you're younger. I'm just not. You got to keep a solid mentality of what you're doing, right? And I think if you have a solid mentality saying that I'm going to be this good, but you organize yourself and then do the work, find the right method of drawing, of learning, I think you're going to go further than you would think. Those are my thoughts. Rename Sarah. Shoot. Because Kveldar, you are not old, and you should. I just think your work could be so awesome. Because you have a nice technique, I have to say. You do have a very nice technique. You have a nice technique. I know this is an awkward setup. And I would have my camera, right below that, but instead, here's what I'm going to do. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be silly today. I am 100% serious. So, anyway, I think I've impressed my point. Wasn't that nice having Sue? She's so cool. She really is. I really like her. Many worthwhile endeavors, the basics, fundamentals are always the most important. The better the artist, the better she understands the fundamentals. Yes, I do believe that. And you can say, oh, but some people are more artistic, and there's more. Let's put it this way: you will have more potential of your artistic side to be accurately represented if you understand the fundamentals. Because people who are artistic oftentimes are hindered by their lack of fundamentals. So Kobe Bryant, and let's see, who else? Like anybody who went up against Michael Jordan, because I love Michael Jordan, I really do. He was amazing. Anyway, is amazing. He still is, actually, because he's still alive, still doing some amazing things. He's one of the hardest work ethics out there. But I keep on bringing them up because I choose people, not just who are artists that I look up to, but I choose people I look up to and try to understand their mentality because they've become successful in their line of work through something. And oftentimes it's the mentality they have. All right, so having said that, Kobe Bryant said that Michael Jordan is one of the most technically perfect. He's like technically perfect. His fundamentals, like his basics, are perfect. Right? He worked on his basics. He worked on his fundamentals. That's what made him, one of the things that made him so good. He could do whatever he wanted to. And going back to it, Michael Jordan said he has confidence in himself because he puts the practice in and what have you, right? In practice. He would practice all this stuff. So yeah, I mean, so you are correct in what you're saying, Rob, with that stuff, man. I mean, you need to be, the fundamentals. That's what we practice. Just practice the basics. Don't get fancy with it. Do not get fancy. Like when I critique people, when I have, like I have a student that I teach here in Winston-Salem, and he is getting much better. And we're only doing bar drawings right now. We're only doing bars. We're not doing anything too fancy. And the whole time, we're working on the fundamentals, the basics of everything, right? I'm not having him do this advanced work thinking that he won't be able to do it if he doesn't get taught, right? No. That's not what we do. Working on the basics. It's always, dude, get your technique, look at the big shape. You're overcomplicating this. Go back to, if ever, for example, I get, you get like everything's too broken. Louder, what's up? Things get overcomplicated. Then go through and resimplify. Sand the floor of art. Sand the floor. I don't even know what that is. I think I've kind of been. I think I've been pressed my point more than enough. Louder, I was explaining to Quellar and Rob, which they know. I'm just telling them what they already know. The importance of drawing. They need to be able to do it. Stuff. Oh, really? Was that from Karate Kid? Hey, Quellar, are you watching Cobra Kai by any chance? You are. Yeah, I agree with first season because they keep on, like, okay, so I do really like it just because I like the stuff. And Billy Zabka is freaking hilarious. He is just, oh, it's funny. It is really funny. Anyway, but yeah, I agree. Because it seems like They always, it's just a repeat. They keep on repeating the same theme in different varieties, different ways, right? But what else can they do, I guess? I don't know. I think I'm still on the last, I'm not sure I'm all the way through the last season, but still, it's awesome. I like it. I really do. Laura, where are you up to? Yeah, he's a blonde version. I can see that. Because that's the stuff that I would do, definitely. Totally not PC. PC. To work on a bit on the carnival. No, that's not that. That's the castle mural. You keep on messing that. I don't know why you keep on calling it the carnival. We'll talk about that later. It's so much easier if I have a freaking... You know what? I'm going to start complaining about not having a live model. This is totally by my own doing, and I'm just bitching and moaning about this. I'm actually annoying myself with this. So next time I do that, just stop me, okay? If I want a live model, I'll get a live model in here. In the meantime, I need to stop complaining about it. It's pathetic. All right, Queldar, I'll see you, buddy. Thanks for being here, man. All right, now that Queldar is gone, let's go ahead and talk about how to take a photograph. Which is what he wanted to know. I'm not going to do that. I'll do that another time. These big-ass brushes right now. I don't have my camera up because it's bugging out today. It just is. So it's taking me a little bit of time just to load this brush up with paint. There's a little bit of oil in it. Just a little bit darker. There we go. I'm bringing the value down some. It's much higher. This is a much lighter value. In reality, what I have, but. going to have to create artwork at the same time as learning. So would you say I should do at least 1 hour a day on the bark drawings? I would say at least 3 hours if you're going to be good. But then I would spend, well, do you hold another job, Rob? If you don't mind me asking. I can help you schedule stuff out if you want, or give you an idea of how much. Like bark drawings you want to spend your time on. An hour a day is not going to cut it, in my opinion, for what you want to do, if you're going to be good. And then your other work, I would spend at least, ideally you do 3 hours, 3 hours. I mean, with my video work, I have to segment that as well. I mean, it's hard to do. The stuff, it's just how it is. It takes time to get this stuff done. I don't have a job, but my wife has just had back surgery, so I have to run the house and see to 3 kids. Ooh, that's rough. I don't know. I mean, then I would do at least two hours of bark drawing. One's not enough. Ideally, you're doing 3. Ideally, you're doing 3. Because we're talking about the fundamentals, right? Fundamentals you need to take your time with. Now, let me ask you this, Rob. Let me ask you this. Is your work, if you don't mind me asking, is your work, like what's your art to you right now, like your paintings? Is it something that's bringing in money, or is it something you just want to do right now? You're trying to like get into the galleries and the shows and all this stuff. Where's that at right now? Where's that at right now? Aim for 3 hours. I think that's very, very wise. Again, fundamentals, basics. That's what we're trying to do. And the reason why I'm asking about the painting is painting might be something if you're really serious and if you don't have the time, like I'm fine with you trying to like do painting and all this and that at the same time. But you have to understand that painting is going to come after a few short years of study, right? I have never sold art apart from one commission of 7 kids graphite a trace. Okay, and that was pencil. Then what I would do, Rob, I would prioritize your training. And because that will have a better payoff down the road, especially if, like you get the business aspect, you're essentially, if you're wanting to make money off your art, and especially in like this line of work, you're going to have to know how to do it, right? And that's what we're doing. And so the best way of going about it is to, is to spend time and study. So you're setting yourself up for a couple years down the road. That's what you're doing. And you can speed that up by working harder, right? To a point. So that's the way that I see that. Yeah. And, if you want to paint, get some paintings done. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But whatever you do, you get that study in. So, like at the academy, we were working for 6 hours a day. But it was essentially 3 hours of bar drawing in the beginning, and then 3 hours of model time, where you're applying those same lessons, right? So that's what you're applying, the same lessons. And so, ideally, if you really want to train, either you get into a school or mimic a school's curriculum the best that you can. That's what I would recommend, is doing something like that. Right? Is doing something like that. But, and I would honestly do this as well. Strike up conversations with Tagian in Discord. Yeah. And the reason why I say that is he's in a unique situation. Because he's young and he's trying to get into one of these schools, but he's still in high school. So he's having to kind of teach himself how to do this type of work, right? And he's doing it through online, like art and here and stuff. But he's really, making an effort to learn this stuff, And so he has a lot of very valuable information. I can teach you what I can on this, on my stream and obviously my videos and what have you, but he's also a very good resource, because he's learning himself and he's on the right track. So when you're doing this, don't get discouraged and compare yourself to other people. Don't do that. Just focus on you and what you can do to improve. All right? And be hard on yourself, okay? And be hard on yourself. But don't hamstring yourself when you do it. All right? You don't want to do that. And I'll be hard on you too, right? I mean, if because I could have given you an answer like, oh, how long do you practice for? Yeah, an hour's fine. No, it's you need to be doing it several hours a day. It's important. This type of stuff. It's very important to know how to do the craft. Oh, I'm going to be honest with you. Don't worry. That's pretty funny. That's a funny story, Rob. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have to keep in mind too. Here's another thing. Let me tell you this. This type of work and this type of learning can be discouraging because it takes time. And sometimes you think that you're not improving. And sometimes you'll look and you'll see that your work was better maybe 6 months before or something like that, okay? You're going to find that. And you might get frustrated about it, right? That could happen, all right? But I promise you that if you stay on the right track, which is the key, is staying on the right track. That's always the focus, is staying on the right track. If you stay on the right track and you continue, you will get better despite what you think for a month, several months, however long. if you're in a slump, sometimes you're going to get worse in this. That's just how it is. Sometimes you're going to get worse. And so keep in mind that most people quit. Most people don't continue with what they do. They'll start something. And the reason is, I think in most cases, it's easy to start stuff and to have hope with things. But when it comes to sticking with something, especially if it comes to facing how much work you have to put in to be good at something, that's when you start seeing the ranks get thinned out a little bit, right? So keep in mind that even though you might be having a hard time or your art might not be looking as good as you want it to look right now, the fact that you have not quit and that you're sticking with it is putting you above most people, okay? Most people stop doing what they're doing again. They quit. Which is why you have, a lot of people, most people, like, you have to take things and look at failures not as failures, but as like an opportunity not to quit and to learn something from it, right? So it's not going to be a failure. It might not be what you want, right? And like this is motivational stuff because you're going to need it going into this type of work. And I'm not trying to intimidate you with that. I'm being realistic about it. This stuff is hard, and I almost stopped doing it because I didn't think that I had the potential to do it. And even so, like, if I don't practice, which is why this is great practice for me right now, if I stop practicing, then I start becoming worse, right? It's just how it is. And it's happened enough in the past for me that I know that I just need to continuously practice and to keep, to stick with it. And if I don't do that, it's going to show. So, like in anything you do, it's all about the mentality, keeping the right mentality in your work, right? That's what we're going for. You got to stick with it and keep the right mentality, and that's what it's about. And even within a painting, right? I'll have these problems and stuff that I have to solve, or I'm like, ooh, this doesn't look good. And I don't just simply try to make it look like I think it looks, but you have to break down why I did what I did, right? And then how I'm going to technically fix it. And these things, or try to remember, in my case, like a time when I was in this predicament. If there's a predicament, I have to remember exactly how I got out of it. And that's where experience kicks in, right? So you gain experience. That's where experience can kick in and save you in some situations, which is quite nice. But the only way to have experience, again, is to not quit, is to continue on, to do the hard work. And I would recommend scheduling yourself out. Just set a schedule for yourself. And continuously, just like honestly, just stick with it. Excellent. Sometimes I think, why do I keep going, not just about the art, but YouTube? It's demoralizing sometimes, but the little pressure that I feel from it and the joy it brings a few people makes it worth it, at least a little bit. Yeah, I feel the same way. Should you choose which bar drawings I do, or should I choose? I will, you know what? Do you have the bar drawing book? And louder, I want to say something to that in a second. Do you have the bar drawing book, the Charles Barg book? I do have a digital copy of the book. Okay, so you have like digital images? Excellent, good, okay. We can work with that. So I tell you what, like what I would do is start out with, I'll show you before the stream ends what I would start out with, and I'll give you the choice of a couple, okay? Yeah, I know louder. That can be very difficult. I agree. You know, for me, I do this for you guys right now. Like I'm not, you know, aside from, you know, some very much appreciated, you know, subscribers here on Twitch, I don't get paid for anything that I do or have done, and you know how that is. So I guess right now I'm not really, and this might not be the smartest business move. I think it'll pay off eventually, perhaps, maybe down the road. But to be honest with you, what I keep on thinking is that, like, whenever I see my numbers, which my videos only get a couple hundred views, and that's over a lot of time. But I think to myself, you know, like, it's helped somebody out there, like for me, and so so that's how I'm thinking about it right now. But also what I'm thinking too is this. So like, and I think I've told you this louder, is that our work is different. Our work that we do, like the art, is timeless. So I look at it as kind of building a portfolio up, I guess. You know, if I put a video out, I'm not looking at the immediate views. Those could go up, they could go down, and sometimes they're deceiving because people might click, but they don't really watch, or they don't get anything out of it. So, you know, what's a view, right? What is it? But the cool thing is that because, you know, this is art, it's timeless, and 10 years from now, it's relevant. All right, so when I put it out, it's like my portfolio. I'm just like, it's always going to be there, which is nice, assuming I don't get like canceled, which that shit happens. I completely 100% disagree with. But you know, that's how I look at it. So like Laura, your channel and stuff, you have a lot of very valuable information on there. You're getting subscribers every single day. It's improved you as an artist tremendously. What else would you be doing? What else would you be doing? I mean, I think, I'm with Rob, I think you should stick with it. And you also help a lot of people. You really do. I think you help a lot of people. Rafal, what's up? I can print them out, but only a 4 size, which is about a letter size in the U.S. That's okay. That's like 8.5 by 11, I think, something like that. Yeah, like that's normal paper size, I think. Look, that's all you need. You don't necessarily need a big one, but those, if y'all have like, you know, places where you can get stuff printed up, right? I mean, you can do it there. I mean, if, you know, later on down the road or something you want to do actual bar drawing. Yeah, Rafal, Rafal, sorry, you know what? I'm probably saying your name wrong, but, so I apologize. The camera, my camera that's on me is not working today. It keeps on bugging out, and I spent a long time trying to fix it, so that's that for today. And sometimes that happens. Every once in a while. Every once in a while, that does happen. Right? Anyway, I don't know. Laura, I think there's a lot of good in what you've done. There's stuff, and sometimes these things take a while to get going. There's Raphael, but in a different language. Raphael. Okay. Should I say Raphael or Raphael? Raphael. I can call. Okay. So do you want me to call you Raphael? Lewis, did you know that Michelangelo drawing I posted, he made that into a painting? That is on the Sistine Chapel ceiling, I think that one, right? I'm pretty sure. And it's holding like this giant book, I think. Is that the one? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's Michelangelo is just insane. My God. And he did a lot of work too. In fact, he burnt a lot of his drawings because he didn't want people to know how much that he worked, especially with the Pietà. He burnt. He did, he would do studies. They would go and dig up corpses and all sorts of stuff to study anatomy. So it's not just that he one day just woke up and sculpted this stuff, or painted or whatever it was he was doing. He put the work in, right? It's just like I said, games are won in practice. They're not won on the court. Hey, thanks, Rob. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's very scratchy, very sketchy. It's not there, but I'll get it. This is, like I said, it's a process. You gotta learn the process, then you have to perfect the process, and then improve. Always improve upon the process. You always have to. It's just this is how it is. It's a process. Painting is a process. Ooh. Check. Okay, 12:30. We're good. We're good. Looking good. Yeah, Pietà. And he spelled it right. Yeah, it's beautiful. He did that when he was very young, I think 21. So the views will come, but you have no idea what impact you have on the way I and others paint. Hope I'm going to learn more as my journey began like a year ago, so a lot of hard work ahead. Hey, thank you, Raphael. And yeah, and I agree 100%. And I was saying, I'm not sure you heard this before, but like, so currently I'm not really concerned about views. And I'm not just saying that because like at first I was more concerned because you don't know what you're getting into when you first start. And I was like, ooh, you know, I need to get the views up or whatever. And that I do agree, like that'll come. Like, again, my thing is that I like the group that we have here. And I agree with everything you said, and that's why I do it, essentially. Yeah, that's what you said is why I'm doing this right now. And here's the other thing. What else am I going to be doing? Like, I'd be doing this work right now. This is great practice for me. This. It's my studio work. Why not stream it? And like help people who want to learn this stuff. Why not? It's the wrong color. Why not? That's what I'm going for. Why not? I enjoy doing this stuff. I really do. Right. Oh, do you have a favorite artist, or do you find your list of top 5 change places like number 3 becomes number 1? Yeah, you know, my favorite artist has always been me. I've always looked up to myself. My favorite artist has always been Bouguereau. I think he embodies. It's like he's connected. He's pre-Raphaelite, but it's like he took the Renaissance. He took the like impressionistic style, but like refined it. Even though that was like about at his time. Probably came a little bit after, in fact, and not after, but like during his lifetime it came. But I don't know. when you look at his landscapes, he gets a solid impression. He's able to make things very beautifully accurate with loose brushstrokes. If you see his paintings in real life, they're very tight, but you can see the brushwork in it. It's very precise. He has the fundamentals we've been talking about. I love his themes. He has several. He had like over 700, 800 paintings done. He's awesome. Besides that, you know what? In the very beginning, it used to be Leonardo da Vinci, and I still really like him, but he just doesn't have a lot of work. But when he came, at the time he came, like his work was just, that was it, and we learned a lot from him as well. So I mean, all these guys are awesome. I really like Henryk Siemieradzki, who is Polish. He's a Polish painter. But I think he studied in Russia, in St. Petersburg, I think. And he has very beautiful work. But I don't know if he's my favorite. Bouguereau definitely is. Let's see, who else do I really like? I like Correggio. Correggio is I like his work a whole lot. I guess a 1, 2, 3, 4, number 1, 2, 3, 4 painter. I'm not sure I have 2, 3, 4, but definitely Bouguereau is my favorite. He is. He's definitely my favorite. His work is just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely just amazing. Of today, one of the graphic artists I like is Roland Jah. I'm not sure I'm saying his name right, but he's awesome. Oh yeah, his skin's amazing. Yeah, Bouguereau. Yeah, he's my favorite. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so many great artists. There's so many great artists. Bouguereau is just amazing. He is something else. How'd that happen? What? Regroup? Sometimes, to paint faster, we must paint slower. Slowly. Yes. Right. Yeah, he's a Polish artist, Raphael. Just saw a picture yesterday in email, and I had to take a screenshot. It's so good, and I think the date says 16th century. Do you know what artist it was, by any chance? Whoops. Let's make this right here. Polish artist. Oh, yeah, Henryk Siemiaradzki. Henryk Siemiaradzki, I think. Let me, okay, well, and I'm probably saying that wrong because that's how I say it, obviously. However, Giovanni Battista Moroni. Henryk Siemiaradzki. Artist. Henryk Siemiaradzki. There it is. This guy. This guy. And then Rob is talking about Giovanni Battista Moroni, and that's who showed up in your email. And that's the guy that I'm talking about. Let me see. Moroni. Giovanni Battista. I bet you. Okay. Giovanni Battista Moroni. Oh, beautiful. You know, and you gotta, like, when you look at art, you gotta, it's good to look at the time, you know, the date, so you know, like, how far along this person was at that time. So this work is quite beautiful. Yeah, it's very good. So he lived 1520 to 1579. So he was only 59 years old when he passed. Wow. So almost not even 60. That is fascinating. Yes. Giovanni Battista Moroni. Northern Italian portrait specialist of the 16th century. He was a native of Albino near Bergamo. Okay. Cool. See? We learn. We always learn. Clock. Cool. Hey. I'm going to refine this a little bit, and then I'm going to leave it so I can kind of layer upon it. All right. And then what I can do, I'm going to record some, since my camera's out, this kind of works because I can record a little bit from my video that I'm going to be doing, which will be cool. So you guys can see it, and it's actually pencil drawing, okay? And what it is I have 3 block-ins, and I'm going to refine them just a little bit, just work them up just a little bit more. I'm not going to turn them into a finished drawing, but this is essentially a block-in video, how I block in a portrait, without making it look, like while keeping the light impression. It's essentially what we're doing. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because Tag-In and posted some drawings he did, and I wanted to give him some advice on his block-ins because he's really working on them. And it got me thinking about this video, and so I'm going to do this, which is quite nice. It's a nice little, something different, which is cool. Okay, brush here, I need this. I'll just do a couple sketches in the stream, nice and easy. Shouldn't take longer. Shouldn't take that long, to be honest with you. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Smaller brush here. Here we go. There we go. And that's the wrong value. So yeah, Raphael, I like his work. I actually, so I've never been to Poland, but I have been to Russia. which is where I originally found his work. Okay, and get a darker brush. And then he's, and then learned that he's indeed from Poland. And forgot where I was going with this, to be honest with you. Just kind of looking at some proportional things that needed to change here. Straws. Okay. There. Yes. Is the blocking video showing how to unify the shadows, or is it at stage later in the process? I think Bouguereau used to paint from morning until night. He did. As long as he had light, he painted. And the drawing, the video is... yeah, it's the unifying of the shadows process. It's how to do just like the very, very basic shape. And I'm essentially what I'm going to do in this video, which I didn't really need to do, but I'm doing it just in case I need the footage, is I'm going to break down that block in just a little bit more, just to give you an idea of the direction that it can go, right? Or that comes next. So in other words, I don't just show you the basic and you're like, well, great, you showed me the basic, but I mean, I don't know where this connects. Like how to connect that. Like if I do a basic drawing, well then how do I break it down? Because I'm used to starting with more shapes. How do I break that down? And so at least I'll have the option of using this, and maybe I can get y'all's advice on what would be helpful. Right? I don't know. I just I film stuff, and if it's not good, I don't need to put it in. But anyhow, kind of don't need to be doing what I'm doing right here. Let me get. Wait a second. I literally got this brush so I could do this, and then I just put it down. Sue coming in here made my day. That was a lot of fun. And I was talking to them downstairs earlier. I was downstairs before I came up. I was talking to them about the stream, among other things. And it's good to have, because those are people that I look up to in art, and it's always good to have something like that. And there's somebody I can directly talk to. They're very approachable, as you can tell, and I kind of need that with this type of stuff. I always need somebody to bounce stupid ideas off of, right? Dumb ideas. It's going to be a great video. I hope. Yeah, it will be. It'll be a great video. That's why my videos take time. But this one's taking time because I just didn't get started. Like, I got backed up during Christmas. Techniques for checking our work for proportions would be helpful. Okay, wait. Let me write that down. Screenshot. No, I turned my phone off. Phone off. 1 second. Son of a bitch. Is that it? Hey, Hammy, how's it going? There we go. Now it's screenshotted. I don't know why I have that out there. There we go. Now it works better. All right, got it. How's it going, Hammy? Hammy. Very scratchy. It's okay though. We just need the impression because I'm going to paint over all of this. I'll leave that for now. Let's get to the drawing. Let's get to the drawings. I don't have a lot of time. I actually have somebody I have to go teach. The student. Hammy, how are you doing? You doing okay? Oh, wait. Sorry, it wasn't scrolled down. Still is going. Still have graphite in my skin. Yeah, I got a couple of things of graphite here and there. Farewell, Hammy. They're war wounds. I'll be lurking now for a bit. Lurking is very healthy for you. Okay, there we go. So here, let's do this. I'm gonna pull this away. Wait, first. Whoops. So y'all can't see the Twitch can't see the boobs on this. So the figure was it's a nude essentially that I'm going off of, but I'm not putting that obviously in this. Okay, here. Let me fix this up. Give me a sec. You know what? I might try to, whoops. Let's try something. This is, let me show you what I got so far. You're gonna lose main image just for a second. Give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec. It's coming right back on, Give me a sec. There you go. That's it. Almost there. Almost there. There it is. Set. Okay, plugging this back in. That's what we got to do. What we got to do to get the right shot. There's that. I'll show you guys how this looks. This. There it is. That's it. That's what we got so far. Just coming along, and All right, so now I'm going to be doing a part of the other video that I'm working on. So this I am probably going to turn into a video if it comes out nice, which of course it will. Come on. Let me take this down. Give me a second here. Let's put this up and then I'll mess with that. All right. I don't think you can show boobs, can you? Anyway. It's better down there in the dark. It doesn't pop. All right. Put this up here. Hey, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Okay. So we got 3 drawings essentially right here. Y'all can't see it. I know it's very washed out. 1, 2, and 3. These are the very basics. Basic drawings. That's what we're working on here. And we'll work on the top one first. I'll get this camera on it, and I will use this footage, potentially use this footage in the video that I'm making this for. And this, essentially, I'm going to be breaking down block and stage. There's this one. Boom, shakalaka. Got it. And maybe what I do some light shading, break this down a little bit. So it gives you guys, again, a point of reference. Let me make sure this is all right. We're probably going to lose camera. We are going to lose camera. Not probably. We are going to lose camera again. Wait. Stupid painting needs to get out of my way. Okay. Stay. Don't move. A model, idiot. Okay. Here we go. And what I try to do with this, I try to make it so it's like leaning in as much as I can without the camera falling over, which is quite tricky if I may say so myself. Just like this. That's the one. If I want to put that, I'll put this here. All right. I think if I put this in a little bit more. The hell? Stupid cord. Okay, that's fine. This is probably it right here. And this over some here. I'm trying to get as straight on as I can. It. There. Okay, wait. You're going to lose picture just for a second. Enhance. Enhance. Set. Okay. Picture's coming back in 3, 2, 2.5. 2 3/4. 2 3/8. It's back. 1. Okay, there we go. See if this is, I'm in the way. Only my nose when I turn. Perfect. That's what we're going to do. We are going to fix this up. Yes, there's an art channel that has videos on gesture drawings or time drawings, and they put up photo 1 or 2 minutes and the models are nude. And they don't get in trouble on Twitch? Interesting, interesting. All right. I know y'all can't see the reference photo. I'm not going to put it up, but it will make sense when you see the video. But I am going to break this down some. Pop my knuckles. Sure I have no paint on my hands, and let us proceed. Yes. So I've kept this at the very basic stage. And again, I might not add this. I don't know if I'm going to add this or not. I like to be thorough. There's a lot of footage that I don't show. Sometimes it's just not relevant to what I'm doing. So we're drawing with these straight lines, right? And when you draw with straight lines, it forces you to make points, these little points here. Those points have to be something that you've observed, right? You observe these points. It's not just like we're making points up because we like making points. Like making a point, right? And eventually we can start like kind of rounding things off once those points are in fact accurate, right? But this is how we get the ears and the roundedness of certain areas and stuff. Like we simply go through and we continuously correct. We make these subtle corrections that this stuff like you can do essentially at any point, stage in the work. I mean, I guess not at any point. Like, you know, it does come to a point when you kind of need to you know, not do what you're going to do. You have to have it wrapped up. But how do you know the points are correct? Is it a judgment call? You're measuring by eye. So every time that I come back, I have a fresh eye, okay? And I will start subtly breaking everything down, correcting what I think needs to be corrected. The places that I'm unsure about, I will not solidify by making like, you know, very solid, hard lines, right? So essentially, it's through just understanding how to develop a drawing, how to leave things basic when you're unsure of them so you can correct them later on. There's a whole strategy involved, Rob, with this stuff. Right? There's an entire strategy involved. Most of the time my eye can see it, especially if it's fresh. And you know what? If it doesn't see it, it's incorrect. Remains incorrect, right? So this is how, like, you know, this line going across here, what do? We draw in the new lines. And the new lines have to fit within the given space, right? That you know, we've made here. Otherwise, the large shape is probably incorrect. So this is how we break down the shadow shapes. This is how, you know, a lot of people will go through and they'll draw this stuff first. This detail. Well, you don't do that, because if you do, you're kind of screwing yourself over, you know. Yeah, that's just how it is. Yep. Yep. And that's why, exactly, and that's why we have to work everything up at once, so you have everything else to compare off of. You know, you don't just want to work one area up at the same time. So you can see here I have the shoulders in, and it's good to put the shoulders in the very beginning of the blocking stage. This, in fact, is the shadow of the beard. This is just a rough block in of where I think the light is, and I don't necessarily have to put that in, but it helps because this is giving a sense of anatomy to it, right? It's giving us an anatomical reference that we can judge off of. It's a relevant thing to put in is the big basic anatomy. Not all of the anatomy, right? Not all of the anatomy, but the basics of the anatomy, whatever we're working with. You know, this I already kind of broke down just a little bit. And this right here, I'm keeping very light, but connecting. See, 1, 2, 3, but very light because it cannot break up the light effect. Okay, and so I'm slowly breaking this down. Now, if I squint down, I'm going to look and I'm going to say this is going to be a little bit lighter than what I have, and it's going to be softer rather, not lighter but softer. So we are getting an impression of what we're drawing in the very initial stage. And a lot of people, even a lot of people at the academies don't, like you can, there's soft and sharp lines, and you can start taking advantage of, you can start doing sharp and soft lines, the very basic stage, right? Right here, there's a little bit sharper, so I can do that. And like, you know, like up here, this is gonna be softer. Softer here, much softer. Right? So we can soften that, soften. Right? Stuff like that. So this is popping out more than this, which is receding. This is going to be softer. All right, so we have these points here. Oh, this is not well defined here. I was lazy. Smooth lines. If you want smooth lines, carry them through. Carry them through. And then honest, and then keep on going through and cleaning them up. Shape them. Take that off because I didn't do that line right. I just need to redraw that line in general. There's one. There's two. Go with that. See, that's beautiful. There you go. Very accurate, sculptural, and if we want, we can go through, squeeze the eraser, and lightly touch it up just a little bit. There we go. Boom shakalaka. Do this, and then there's comes down like this, and then this is going to be soft. Now, the fun part, we can kind of very lightly block in. And I already took pictures of these in the basic stage. Rotating my pencil so that there's a high resolution of shadow. In other words, I'm drawing with a sharp point, not a flat point, which makes it fuzzy looking. Slowly rotating. Slowly rotating. Again, this is going to be footage maybe for the video that I'm doing. Be nice. And so the thing is once you get these shadow shapes in, what's my hand touching? 1 second. I'm putting my head through a very, okay, wait a second. I need to be careful. Now my head's almost stuck. Okay, I'm back. It's treacherous. But such is, c'est la vie, la vita di una pittura. Such is the life of a painter. There you go. Nice and soft. Okay. And we don't panic. Can't panic. This will kind of fade this up. Do a light shadowing here. Maybe I'll just do a light shadow. Kind of do a light one, just something. We're working on technique. I'm not trying to get this in so fast, you know what I mean? Let's apply the same value to all the shadows first and then darken the other parts later. Is it to get a feel if they have the shadow shape correct? Yes, that is right. Why? You're spending less time. You're training yourself to simplify, right? Because if you're trying to go through and find every single value or what have you, right? Every single shadow shape. You're observing all these different shadow shapes and this and that. You just need to keep it basic, keep it simple. Just keep it simple. All right, so this is a very basic shadow shape right here. And maybe I just go through slightly. Put some in here. Something like that. Let's see this. Okay, let's see this. Essentially, there's the shirt there. I'll just put the shirt one, and then it goes into here. Whatever. Always carry through with your lines, and then just go. Cut them off, and you have Ingles. Tagging, what's up, buddy? This is for a block-in video that I'm doing for us. There you go. So there we go. And at this point right here, if we wanted to, it's like, okay, well, how do you shadowed? How do you break this down? So like right here, and y'all can't see the reference. When I do the video, obviously, I'll have a reference up right beside of it. It's going to be extremely organized, as everything that I do in life is. Now we go through and subtly shift and shape and do all this crap. You know? And then we can add and subtract the shapes where we want them. You know? See? Like we can start adding in these points. If that went too far or whatever, I can bring this down. You know? So that's how, and we can shape, we can just continuously shape, you know. I always recommend going through and just cleaning up afterwards. So we got one right here. So then from here we can just continuously go through and you know, like look through everything else, and let's do that. There we go. Look at that. It's a huge difference. The form is added. So please add the intro that Quildar edited on every video. Okay, I can do that. That's your figure blocking demo. Again, I needed it for a big figure drawing I'm doing in charcoal and white chalk on tone paper. Ooh, maybe I'll do a video on something like that too. All right, Laura, I'll see ya. Thanks for being here. All right, so we got that one. Let's go to the next one, shall we? Let's go to the next one. Make sure I got everything here. Okay, you know what I don't like? Let me fix something here. I messed this up. Unify. That's what I want. There we go, because that wasn't making any sense. There we go. That's fine. Now, let's bring this up. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Started drawing the figure completely from the bottom up today. It makes sense and it's easier that way. Yeah, so when you say that, like, you want to be going up to the top too at the same time. So, like, I normally start and get the bottom, everything, like, get the main points from the ankles, the hips, and all that stuff, and then shoot up to the pit of the neck and get the shoulders and everything in, so that you're recording where the model was at that exact point. And then you can always shift it, but it also forces you to see the entire shape at once, which is a good thing, very good thing to do. Okay, here, I'm going to actually break this down just a little bit more than I have it. Clara, what's up? Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Tagging, I appreciate that. Yeah. See, I'm really glad that helps. Okay. So essentially this is a video on blocking, and I am breaking these down just a little bit more just so that I have the option of adding this footage if I want to, just to give an idea of exactly where you go from this point. Like after you block in, it makes sense. You're like, oh, okay, so after you block in, then you do this. Yes, it's the one that you did tag in. Son of a bitch. Oh, Luigi. Oh. Okay, lurk over. I've been watching Trailer Park Boys, and Julian reminds me of Trailer Park Boys. Julian, I'll have to look that up. Trailer Park Boys. Found some Barg videos to watch, Lewis. Post them. I love that stuff. Here needs some major work, but whatever. Whew. Wait a second. It's a Canadian sitcom. What's this? Is that him? Is that him? Yeah, that does look like me right now. That's really funny. That's really funny. I'll have to, where'd I put my sandpaper? There it is. There it is. My camera's not working today, by the way. This face is spot on. It is spot on. That's really funny. There we go. Okay. This ear sucks so bad. So, I mean, but that's okay. This is how we fix it. Let me fix this. This cuts. We go. Boom. Wait. One. A boom. Like this. That's what we do. A boom it. And then here. Here. There. And then, wait for it. Just cut that out. Cut it. And we just continuously shave it off until it's correct. Erase the value. Add some definition. This part actually goes like this. edge. There. The outside, make the inside look better. Draw this line. Cut this. So we do the ear. Okay, what's this? There was an error. Please try again later. Screw you, Google Ha! John Paul Tremblay. This is awesome. He does look like me. He looks like a fat buffer me. I like it. It's funny. A strange woman. Oh, yeah, when I squint. Nice one. Nice caption. I was working on it earlier, and I decided to go to this one right here so I could get some of video work done, because otherwise I'd just be doing this by myself. Right? Like, I figured do this on stream, and it records it on stream, which is quite nice. So this is how I'm breaking the block-ins down that I did it for a video. Like I said, just in case, I want to have this footage. This is probably too high. Yep, that was too high. I had it right the first time, which I knew. It goes down just a little bit. Tagging this video was inspired by our conversation over the block-ins in Discord. And I won't be bringing you up and being like, hey, this, like you didn't do anything wrong. This is more of like, I just said, do a video on block-ins. I don't think I've really done a solid portrait block-in video before, have I? So, when I'm doing this, I am like thinking I need to correct proportions, and because when you add shapes in, it's a process. When you add shapes, you realize that you didn't get them like totally correct in the first place, and you might have to add to them or do whatever to make it, to make them kind of work. Like, so I put like this anatomy in here, but very light, so it's not like blocking the light effect. You see what I'm saying? So like, we still have the overall impression. But here's another thing. These shapes, except for this, I shouldn't have probably done that like that sharp. These shapes are totally maneuverable. Like, we can still move them around. Right? Ah, Luigi. Tag in. There we go. There we go. So that's kind of cool. Oh, jeez. What's wrong with me? You're a mix of that guy and Robert Downey Jr. Why Robert Downey Jr., who is my favorite actor, by the way. Did you capture the expression turn into a meme? I haven't done that. I know you wrote that a second ago. I'm just catching up to that comment, Clara. Hey, Queldar! Queldar's back. You should really get Lewis's permission before posting photos of him. Y'all can post whatever you want on there. You know, she's just messing. It's pretty funny. Until I look like the Pam, like Pam from The Office. I can see that actually, yeah. Not as much as Lewis looks like this guy. We should all find like people we look like and just start using them as our profiles. Okay, so you see this mouth, I lost a lot of form. Actually, y'all can't see it because you don't have the reference. By design, that way you can't see what I'm doing wrong. Peace and quiet. I can do whatever I want without being judged. There we go. Actually, this comes up. And I just need to... There we go. It's actually pretty good. This part. There we go. Now we just continuously work this. The shapes, work the shapes. Here we go. Here we go. Go on. Go on. Start it. Just start it. Pretty funny. So for those of you who have been living under a rock, there are now AI apps out there that can create extremely lifelike images based on text alone. Go on. They can even reproduce the style of specific artists. That's shit. Thank you. Debate over. Tagian wins. KO, bitches. Good job, Tagian. Proud of you, buddy. The virus strikes again. They can do this because they have used proprietary imagery to train the AI algorithm. That's shit. What if that is where the debate ended with us? which it pretty much will. Okay? Okay? It's only a debate because we allow it to be one. Ah, shit. AI sucks, the end. Sub-question, is there still a point to learning art? Is there? It'd be fun if we forgot how to learn. Like, what happens if everybody just forgets how to learn art and then the program accidentally gets erased? Hell no, we created it. We can destroy it. Are you talking about the AI? The AI must be destroyed? Ah, yes, Tagian. It was at that moment that Tagian knew his life purpose. He must destroy AI. You know, Tagian, the whole time I was watching that interview, I kept on imagining you jumping out the school window. Yes, because how will we feed the AI images to search and pull from, LOL? Well, there is a multitude of AIs all online, so no chance of them going away. Well, all you have to do is delete the internet. Boom! Outsmarted. There will always be value in learning art. They need more art in their database, obviously. Right. That's fine. Obviously. The crappy thing about, I feel like some people are not taking this debate seriously. The crappy thing about the AI is that they use images from a database that didn't give permission to use. Oh, you always got to learn, man. You know, you could say the same thing about photograph, right? Photograph! I wonder how it was like back in the day. Do we still need to paint portraits because we have photographs now? I bet you they had that debate. Did they, you think? Probably did. I don't know. There we go. Hey, Tagging, you missed Sue Lyons. She was in here, and we were asking her questions earlier. People are calling out artists where an artist nowadays should be original and no. Let me see if I can get her back up. Give me a second. She probably can't. She's probably not here. I'm going to see if I can get her back up here. But she might be gone. And anyway. No! Tagging. Yes, but you can't photograph an image based on text. So we got to get Scott. Yeah, Scott. Give me 1 second, guys. I asked if they want to come up. They said they're filming for another 30, or taking photographs for 30 more minutes. I said I'm here until 2:45, which essentially is 45 more minutes. I don't know if they're going to come up, though. So we will see. We will see. Not today, but in the future, I will post about the live stream on my YouTube. Excellent. Cool. All right. Excellent. There we go. Yeah, they can't do it today. They're very busy with what they do. But I tried. I tried to do it. I tried for you guys. Always miss the good shit. Yeah, she was filming her own video. She came in here. So I made Lewis ask Susan if academic painting is the best or only way of painting. But I think if AI pulled only from art, 1 second, the people gave permission to use it, it would be totally fine. What did she say? It was awesome. She said no, and Lewis screamed yes. Which I was joking, of course. Do I always, yeah, it says, always my day has been made. Already my day has been made. Clara, you cannot defeat me. It was totally random, Genshin. She was filming her own video. Yeah. We'll get them back in. We'll get them back in. Don't worry. I'll get them back. I'm going to make sure they come back. I'm going to make sure they come back. Don't you worry. Right. A second, I messed this one up. That one's good. Okay, now I'm going to go to on my face. Claire, because I know you, and you're evil, because you're always fighting the good guy, which is me. Okay, there's my face. Let me do this and make sure that it's... Wait a second. Maybe we should just focus on that. Give me a sec. You're going to lose picture just for a second because I want to make sure that it's focusing in on this. Give me a sec. Focus. Good. Set. And then we just got this one last drawing here. I'm going to just refine it a little bit. See, I'm not like refining it. I'm just kind of doing the connecting stage, right? I'm beginning to like babies. They're full of potential. Vitamins too. Okay. Here we go. Vitamins. Angel. I'm beginning to like babies. Here we go. Fixing angles of this thing. Environments too. What is an appropriate color scheme for a bedroom? Black. Death. For you, Pink, Lewis, you're goth. I want to answer from your heart. I want you to answer from your heart, like these two knuckleheads did. Make these green, make them green like Academy walls. Ours weren't green, I don't think. Don't make me laugh, damn you. This kid is a monster if he gets woke up black. Did the Academy have green walls back when you studied, Lewis? Kind of don't remember. I think they were gray. I think some of them were dark green. I don't remember. I don't pay attention to stuff like that all the time. Okay. Sharpen this pencil. How much longer do I have? It's 2:07. Probably be done by 2:30 because I need to clean up paint. After that, they paint them green. Yeah, no, right? We had a green curtain in the background, but you know, I liked the green curtain because it played off the flesh tones quite nicely because it would make the figure look a little bit more warm. It would bring the reds out. Right, but yeah, I don't know, Tegan, that's... You could probably figure it out. There's an answer. There has to be an answer to it. Yo! I think I just intimidated somebody just now. Somebody went to get into my studio. I was like, yo, like that, like, what's up? And they were like, oh, sorry. Maybe I should have gone out and seen exactly who it was. Maybe they need help or something. Maybe they're lost. In which case, I am just the guy to help. Give me a second. Nah, I'm going to do that. Whoops. I messed it up. Why they paint him green? He's peeing green like a mental hospital. I just Googled Susan Lyons' work. Hers is awesome. I think she's done demos for East Oak Studio. She does demos all the time. Y'all should consider joining her Patreon too, because I know she does like a lot of streams and stuff, and she's really good. She's very good. I think she does streams. I think it's for her Patreon that she does them for. And Scott's always in them too, I think. And so yeah, it's solid content right there if you guys are interested. Solid content. And I just made it look like my neck is cut off. Let's do this. Whatever. And then you know, the cool thing about not having a camera on you is that you can strip down naked, so I'm totally naked right now as I draw, which is, you know, I tend to draw better when I'm butt-ass naked, you know. Somebody, you know, if they ever want to comment on my art and stuff, and, you know, I have a flashback of doing that art completely naked, I kind of get a little smile across my face, and I answer their question, because it's always a question, you know. That's how I draw. How I draw. So then you have to ask yourself, was it by design that my camera did not work today? I don't know why it doesn't work. This happens sometimes where it just like cuts out. Don't know, man. There's that. Then we have this. Shoot. All right. Whatever. Two. Okay. There it is. Because, I mean, whatever. I don't feel like doing it right now. Too lazy to draw the ear. I don't feel like doing it. I really am just tired of drawing ears, okay? I couldn't make it. I'm not going to do it. I'm done. This is the video, okay? That's the video. So, I think I'm done streaming. I think that I am, in fact, indeed, done. Love the drawings. Thank you, Rob. Grazie, as the Norwegians say. Thank you, Hammy. I appreciate that. Sounds like a bunch of excuses. Shut your fat face, you mongrel. Ugh. Some people. Ugh. Guys, thank you so much. I will stream. I think I'm obviously going crazy. I will stream again. I don't know when. But it will be soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday, maybe both. I don't know. I need to recoup. All right? Recoup. Take care. Happy arting. Take care, everybody. All right, guys, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun today. I had a great time. We got a lot of work done. Keep in touch in Disc. All right? Got a lot of good things coming. I will talk to you later. Goodbye, humans.